be funny. I like it. All right, well, then, you guys ready to start?
I thought you said something about 10 minutes of silence.
I don't know if we need 10 minutes
No,
of
that's
silence.
what somebody said.
Good
Like,
Lord.
I said 10 minutes of silence, and you said we're going to do that before we start.
No. Sorry. No, not 10 minutes, type thing. No, we'll just do a little bit of silence, and that'll be enough.
A moment of silence for our podcasting careers.
Yeah, essentially, right. No, it just needs to be a little clip that I can put it into, I want to say Audacity.
So it knows what the baseline is.
Audition. And then you clip the section of silence, and then you say analyze this, and it'll pick up room noise, and then you can throw it up.
Okay.
But
never mind.
Yeah. I've already hit record, but
I figured.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stare at you through here.
We'll just be quiet for a couple seconds and then go from there.
Can you?
I don't know. I'm trying my hardest. Okay. All right. Okay.
It's all downhill from here.
This is the beginning of our podcast, I guess.
Do we have a title?
I was wondering the same thing. Like, I don't know if we want to have like a nerd podcast title or something like that. Like
currently the No Name Podcast.
The No Name. I bet that exists. I can almost bet money No Name Podcast already exists. Yeah, but I mean, we could do something like, Attacks of Opportunity, or, Roll for Initiative, or some shit like that as a podcast name. But I mean, realistically, it's just kind of like a monthly update.
It's just the Don't Quit Your Day Job podcast.
Yeah. Is anybody listening to this podcast?
The Zitler Podcast? Is that one already taken?
What?
The Zitler Podcast? Is that one already taken?
We'll have to go with Poplar, Zitler. What was the other stupid one? It was like
Tasticles?
Yeah, Tasticles. Yeah, Tasticles. Yeah, the freaking Poplar episode of Futurama.
I would say for when you feel it in your nuts. Tasticles.
Yeah, it was the only two names that haven't been copyrighted in all of history. It was Poplars and Zitlers, and Bender was like, "What about Tasticles?" And it was already taken. But whatever. I figured it's just going to be a monthly get together, talk about updates and shit like that, and whatever it is that we want to sit there and talk about, and let people kind of in on what we're going to talk about and what we're planning on doing for that month or whatever.
We do stuff.
Barely. But yeah, Misfit wanted to call it something. Do you remember what he wanted to call it?
I don't know. At this point, he's just the unemployed.
Yeah, bastard. What was it? No. It was Brown Round Table. You want to call it the Brown Round Table?
Was that the podcast? I thought that was for something game related.
No, that was the Boardroom was the game one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Boardroom was going to be the game one, which could still be, by the way, if we decide to do board games and stuff like that. But he wanted to do a podcast and be a round table and be, Brown Round, because drill sergeants. And I was like, that just sounds like butthole. Like, I don't want to.
Yeah. The Chocolate Starfish.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Chocolate Starfish podcast. I'm your host, Badger.
I'm out.
Yeah. So speaking of which, I'm Badger.
I'm Demo.
I'm Niviria.
And introducing Niviria, right? So we had the introduction video with Misfit and Caveman, and Niviria wasn't part of that. But in the intro, I was like, there's a bunch of people for Grid Square Gaming, and I mean, Niviria, you're always planning on doing it with us, right?
I'm around usually, so yeah, of course.
What the hell else are you doing, right? I mean, I'm trying to remember who all were the starting members of Grid Square, because it was me, you, Demo, Niviria, Misfit, Caveman, Papa Jules, Thor, Captain Thor. I'm trying to remember if there was anybody else. But we work with all kinds of freaking nerds and are friends with all kinds of nerds.
I don't remember. Did we start the idea before Fusion left, or did he leave and then we started looking at it?
I don't remember. I know that we talked about it when Fusion was still here. But I was gonna say, for anybody who doesn't know who Fusion is, in the intro or the introduction video we did, there's the moment where we're talking about streaming, and there's a screen capture of some streamer playing a video game, and that's at Dark Fusion, who's a friend of ours, who's a green suitor, a soldier that was stationed here that we hung out with. But you're right. I think I remember with the joke about winning the lottery and starting our own gaming channel. He was still here for that, but I don't remember if he was here when we actually pulled the trigger on it. I don't remember.
Honorary mention.
Yeah, I mean he is aware of it because he gave me permission to use his image for the intro, and then when I showed it to him, he started laughing on stream, so it works. But yeah, no, we have a lot of people that we can play with, even if it's, like we were joking around, we can call them the attacks of opportunity, people who are adjacent to us and move, so we grab onto them and pull them into the show.
I like that.
Yeah. I'm going to say we'll have Demo's wife at some point in time on, because he threatened her with that already, pulling her on, because she's not a gamer when she's played, what, 2?
She likes balloons.
She likes balloons. She's played D&D twice, maybe? I think. Once with us, and
I mean, I've
twice
run a
with
campaign
us, right?
a couple of times, and then you killed us that one time.
And then TPK, yeah. I TPK'd the shit out of you guys. Hey, I brought it back.
It was amazing, though.
It was fun. All right. I got a taste for blood when I killed Thor's character in our work game, and then I can't be stopped. Bloodthirst can't be quenched. But yeah, so I mean, what is this? What are we doing? I guess we already kind of talked about it. It's just going to be a monthly update where we kind of get together and talk about life things that we're planning on doing, life updates, changes, anything that we want to sit there and talk about, and then we'll talk about our goals, like what we're doing for the month, what games we're playing, future games we plan on playing, projects and stuff like that. And then whatever else moves us. I think that's essentially what we'll be doing here. Yeah. Any thoughts on that one? No? Well, I'm sure we'll come up with new additions and ideas later on.
Say, in absence of the intro video, Niviria, what brought you to games?
Well, actually, I started gaming when I was young, and my grandfather had the original Game Boy. And I basically took it from him.
Similar one was my grandfather got the NES, the original Nintendo.
Yeah.
And,
It's like the 90s versions of, hey, you got any games on that phone?
Exactly.
Yeah, essentially, yeah, right?
And I remember playing Super Mario Land and Tetris and tennis and Amazing Penguins. You remember?
What the hell is Amazing Penguins?
That was my introduction, along with Tetris, to puzzle games that I've fallen in love with. And that was an amazing game.
I don't think I've ever heard of that game. Are you tracking that one, Demo?
No, never heard of it.
Think so.
You had to go around and unlock each square in a puzzle, and sometimes there would be many squares, and the harder the puzzle got, more squares there were. In order to get rid of the enemies, you would have to get rid of these circles to unlock each square.
Okay.
Now I'm wondering if it's just Minesweeper and Grandpa lied to her.
Yeah.
I like Minesweeper too. Yeah.
You just put penguins on it.
It was 2002 before I had my first computer. And then since then I was a PC gamer, but prior to that it was mainly Nintendo.
Yeah.
Had the original NES, I had the Super Nintendo, got the N64, even had the Virtual Boy.
We still have the Virtual Boy.
We do. Because I'm crazy and had to go find it.
Output that so we can do a capture card.
A capture card to the Virtual Boy. Oh God, that'd be terrible.
So bad when you're in there. I mean, you get 2 colors, right?
Yeah, you get a whole black and red. And
I have Red Alarm for it. That's a
Because
hard
they couldn't make
game.
it any other alarm. Right? There was only black and red. It had to be red alarm.
Black alarm.
And that drew too many flags, so they couldn't do that one. That's funny. And then I remember Mad Maestro. We were just talking about that, and you found that on
Nice.
Twitch. So you were like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna have to start streaming Mad Maestro."
Seriously, I like that game, but I will play anything that has to do with music, especially because I've been playing an instrument for just about 30 years now.
Yeah, you play flute.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be.
So if anybody's looking for lessons in the local area of Southern Arizona, no.
Our
So-
Grid Square Gaming flautist.
Flautist. Just gonna bust out some jams like Anchorman, whatever his name was, Ron Burgundy.
I've got my music compositions up too.
But I remember Mad Maestro. I remember we were playing it, and Demo,
It
you
was
said
fun.
you didn't know that one either.
Nope.
It's essentially it's like Guitar Hero esque. It's like one of those rhythm
Do you
games.
do it with like a wand or?
No, well, it was with the PlayStation 2 controller because there was really nothing else you could do it with. But you had to match like buttons, right?
Yeah, I think it
In
was
order to
matching
keep
the.
like the beat and you had to hit certain buttons to bring in other.
I mean,
Uh,
PS2 was an era
people.
because if I'm not mistaken, that's where like Guitar Hero started. They started coming out with like the one-off controller. So that's, I mean,
I mean,
it being a
yeah.
wand,
Yeah,
not out of the realm.
that's not out of the realm. You're not wrong.
You had to keep beat as well as cue in other instruments, and I believe they have a new VR game that's similar.
Yeah.
More
You were showing.
complicated, though.
You were showing me that one. It's a more complicated version where you actually do have to conduct with your hands.
I'm just thinking Parappa the Rappa.
Essentially, I mean that was all that era, right?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it was the birth of rhythm games. You had the Guitar Hero, you had that. I remember playing a game where you were like a spaceship of some sort on rails, and there was like 3 tracks, and you had to like shoot the icons and stuff like that while you're going back and forth. I want to say it was like Amplitude or something like that. The game was called
Sounds
Amplitude.
familiar.
But I was addicted to it. It was when I was in Korea,
Hmm.
with the PlayStation 2, and man, you ain't ready for that. Anyways, so what else? What else you want to share? What I mean,
Goodness, I think for the most part that was it. I mean, I've been
no,
a
it's not. There's
I mean,
another gaming
that's
thing
20
you're a
years
fan
ago.
of.
What are you playing now?
Stardew.
I do like Stardew. I really like survival games. So 7 Days to Die, The Long Dark. Those
Long Dark's so good.
Long Dark is
Long
really,
Dark is
really
so
good. I look forward to that each time I play it. I'm not good at it, but I love it. Fallout. Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas.
I mean, still, those are old ass games.
They
I
are.
hate to tell you.
They are, but I don't care. I bought a watch only because it had the Pip-Boy on it.
True. A smartwatch, the smartwatch with the Pip-Boy, whatever you want to call it, theme on it.
Yeah.
But I mean, also, Niviria itself comes from a gaming background. The name itself, right?
Yeah. Niviria is my D&D character name, and I came up with that, goodness, over a decade ago, and I've been using it ever since. And that was from a generator, but I put 2 names together to create it. And the one time that I changed my name, I realized I had essentially accidentally made my name backwards.
Yeah,
And so
Aravan. And it
Aravan
was just
became my
like,
next
shit,
character.
That's just a different way of spelling Niviria. Yeah.
Basically. And yeah, so D&D is my other love.
Yeah. Which we plan on hopefully getting on the channel too, right?
Yeah.
Doing some live, or maybe not live stream, but at least recorded variations if we can ever get Otto's Garage up and running. Which, speaking of which, that is another member of Grid Square that will be joining us in future games. Would
He's
be
hiding out in the mountains chasing some rabbit or something right now.
Yeah, he's chasing tail, I think, or something like that in the Dragoons. I don't remember. but some type of crazy sex cult that runs around. I don't remember chasing
A
around.
running group that drinks more than it runs.
Yeah, it drinks more than it runs, and then they do naked runs in the full moon or half moon or whatever. I don't know. Sounds like some werewolf shit, but he's out doing that. But he'll have to on the next podcast introduce himself as well. But you can expect to see him in future games of ours, whatever they may be. But we have some ideas. But he definitely wants to also play D&D. He's got the itch. He keeps telling me every time. Yeah, the itis, exactly. Every time we bring up D&D, he's like, "Don't threaten me. Don't threaten me with a good time. Let's do this. I'm ready when you are." But yeah, it'll be fun. But eventually we'll have to get that going.
Yeah.
Start hearing his voice in some of these games.
Yeah. Speaking of games, we're having some updates on, I guess, channel updates, life events, or whatever, like we were talking about. People should be seeing either right before this, or right after this, an update to Tiny Tina for Battle Buddies, our playlist that is just a bunch of friends trying to screw each other over.
It's so funny.
I love it. I love doing it. Hate editing it. Which is why there haven't been any updates within like the last 2 years, a year, something like that. I think we stopped recording Tiny Tina's in like 22, I think.
Yeah, because when did we lose Misfit? That was a while ago.
Which, speaking of which, we lost. Misfit's no longer with us.
Bastard moved to Wisconsin.
Yeah. I mean, he's not dead. He's just dead to us. He's in Wisconsin. He would like to. Last time we talked to him, at least, he would like to continue to play and do things for Good Square, but he'll have to end up doing more remote. But the economy is garbage there too, apparently, and he's having a hard time getting a house and whatnot where he can actually set aside an area to be able to play without being distracted by kids and life and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So
normal.
Yeah, so that'll happen. But that was one of the main reasons that Tiny Tina kind of
went on hiatus.
Yeah, exactly. Because kind of waiting for that. And the other one was just me, having the imposter syndrome and not knowing what the hell I was doing, and just dealing with the audio issues and video issues. Because good Lord, the audio issues, sweet Jesus.
I get to see
Caveman.
it.
Yeah, right. Well, not just Caveman. Misfit's audio. Because it was Misfit recorded his game, but not him.
Yep. You had to pull his audio off of Discord.
Yeah, thank you, by the way, because you, Demo, were the one who recorded that, so I actually had something to do. And then Caveman recorded only himself and not his game. And as well as everything in the house, apparently, because I had to keep on cutting out like him chewing and breathing and his wife talking to him and his dogs barking in the background, and it was just a freaking nightmare.
Somehow all that made it, but not his audio.
Yeah, right.
And I get to see it from my side, where I'm hearing you guys play the game, and then over time I see the editing process get done. And so it's really interesting to see what was this crazy fun night become this frustrating experience that ends in hilarity, full of all the little memes and jokes that pop up throughout.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Demo just watched the second episode, which would be the one that will be coming up or just came up, and he seemed to like it a little bit. He seemed to laugh a couple times at his loot goblin ways.
Yeah, I was threatened though.
Yeah.
Apparently somebody else doesn't think there's enough loot to go around.
I'm gonna bump you out.
No,
so that I can be the other loot goblin.
I can only carry so much. I need somebody to pick up my scraps.
I'm gonna steal it all. I'm gonna steal it all.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm
these
gonna
are
kill
fight
you
words.
and steal all your loot.
Words.
As we proved with Caveman, friendly fire's not on.
Not for that game.
Not for that game.
But me and Misfit are still trying. We're still trying to do that.
Found your loopholes.
But yeah, we're gonna continue to update on Tiny Tina. Or I'm gonna continue to update on Tiny Tina. But we learned a lot from that beginning portion where we didn't match our audio, we didn't match our settings, we didn't match anything, and we really did not think about any of that when we first initially started. We didn't time starting our recordings together or anything of that nature.
Let alone do bite-sized recordings in case something goes wrong.
Yeah. So
Who needed that?
but we got a little bit better, but I think the next couple you ran into some issues in the next couple recordings for Tiny Tina, if I'm not mistaken. Do you remember?
Yeah, where the mic just died for whatever reason for a while.
Yeah. Well, I think it was also like there was a period where it was recording off the wrong microphone. Or it dumped your recording and it just like off it just on Discord, but not on the actual OBS recording or something like that. It was weird. There was something weird about it.
Yeah.
Because I threatened you to have to.
This is like a year ago.
Yeah, I know. And I threatened you to have to actually edit it yourself.
Or at that point, it was a year ago. I can't remember.
Yeah, you're not kidding. But we're gonna keep on working on it, and we'll get some Tiny Tina content out there. We'll get some stuff out there.
But in the meantime, we'll pick up some of the more current games.
Yeah. We got some ideas.
Like Helldivers?
Helldivers, yeah, you're right. Yeah, me and Demo are interested. I haven't actually played any Helldivers yet, but I've watched the hell out of it. You played a little bit though, right?
Yeah, I found I am terrible. Also, don't go to a 4-man mission by yourself.
Apparently, the game's hard. Weird.
It looks hard.
Yeah, even on the early missions when it's quote easy, you cannot take a 4-man by yourself.
You can never. Well, yeah, and that's weird for you because you can usually take 4 men by yourself,
right? Hands come in handy.
Speaking of handies, no. But yeah, I you picked it up. Because little Demo wanted to play at your kid, right?
Yep.
For his birthday.
Yep.
I'm assuming that went well.
A couple hours, couple missions.
Yeah.
Playing together, at least even just one other person makes it a lot better. But then you can start jumping in with randos, and sometimes they work as a party, and sometimes they just take off and do their own thing and kind of make things worse.
Were they looking for loot?
In all the wrong places.
Looking for loot and no. Yeah, no, I heard some people having issues with randos, traitors to democracy, turning on each other and shooting each other instead, because that game does have friendly fire on. So we'll have to get Misfit back for that one so I can properly kill him. But
oh no, you stood too close to my orbital strike. My bad.
But speaking of Dark Fusion, you pointed out that he's playing that game too, right?
He's been on a couple of times. Every time I've been on, he's been on already, and I've seen him on when I'm outside just looking in.
Yeah, on the outside looking in. I like that. Too many music references.
Never.
We have a bunch of people at work that are also playing it. I'm trying to remember their stream handles, but I don't remember anymore.
No.
So I don't want to throw out anybody's actual names on here, right? But I don't know. Maybe we'll have to end up playing with them at some point in time too, because I know at least 3 people who are playing it at work, and then Kenny is also playing it. I've seen him, and I'll throw out his real name because his real name is his handle. So. But I saw that he was playing it last night too when I jumped on. So I jumped on to just do the intro and record a little bit of that.
You got your cape,
which you're probably seeing right now because B-roll. But I got my cape, and oh my god, during the intro there's a part where like you're being trained on like the buttons and what to do, and there's a point where it's like you have to dive, and there's no better training than live training, and you have to dive, and there's machine guns that are shooting over your head. I died so many fucking times.
Yeah, I dived a little early on that one too, and then fell off the cliff and got taken out once.
I didn't fall off the cliff, but I kept diving into prone, but I kept holding Shift and W, which then made me get up and start running. So I'd stand up and die, and I'm like, what the hell? And so I'd do it again and do it again and do it again. And then finally I was like, I'm just gonna hit dive and then let go. I was like, it has to be that. I was like, because there's got to be some type of low crawl in this game, right? It was the shift. Apparently, holding the shift makes you,
Yeah, you can't run
go
in a
in.
low crawl.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I used to be able to low crawl pretty quick. Thank you very much. But yeah, no, I was I died there at least 4 or 5 times, and just being like, what the.
Yeah, and you try and dive back down real fast, and it's not quick enough, and
No.
you just get lit up.
But I like that about the game. I brought that up to somebody because they were talking about playing it too, and I think it was Caveman. We were talking to him about it, and telling him that you have to dive, but was it like you can run, but the run's not very like video game runish. Like you're not sprinting, but you're just moving a little bit faster. And that when you dive, it actually takes time to get back up. And reloading actually takes time to reload and things of that nature. So, there's different elements to the game that I'm actually looking forward to. But yeah, I kept on watching videos for it, a bunch of different streamers and stuff like that, and couldn't resist the call anymore. The democracy was calling me, and I had to sign up. So I picked it up. Helldivers.
Are you doing your part?
Not yet. Not yet, but we're going to do it. We're going to work on it. But as of right now, it's just me and you. I don't think Otto has it. So, and Niviria, I know you don't have it. It's
No.
not really your game. Not
No,
really your style.
it's not quite my style. I do like some parts of it. It gives a bit of that Fallout vibe, being that it's very Starship Troopers, but it is so close to just a shooting game that I don't know that I would survive very long. I think I do
We get
better in the long
reinforcements.
dark.
You die a couple of times, you can keep getting brought back as long as you have reinforcements remaining.
I would try it. I would definitely play it, but I don't know that I do well enough that I would stick with it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But
stick with my Stardew.
yeah, stick with Stardew. Jeez.
Fast-paced Stardew Valley.
Got to get that wine.
Oh God. I couldn't go back to Stardew after a while. Yeah, I just couldn't. I played it a little bit on my phone when you started playing it, and I couldn't go back to it. It just didn't interest
For
me
me,
enough.
it was
It's
how
not
much money
Helldivers.
can I make?
Yeah.
How many ancient wines can I sell today?
Well, I was going to say, well, speaking of Helldivers, so we'll have to see if we can try our damnedest to drag Sanford into it.
Johnny would love it.
Johnny would love it.
Oh,
He
yeah.
is a massive, oh my God, massive Starship Troopers fan. So he keeps on bringing up the
I
fact.
thought you were going to say fascist.
Well, he is a massive fascist too. But
He would love it.
But every time we bring up Helldivers at work, you could see it on his face where he's like, oh God, it's so good. I want to play it so much. It looks so good. So we'll have to at some point in time lasso him from Ariel and drag him into a closet somewhere and beat him, or let him play something like that. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to playing some Helldivers, and then we also had a plan for another game that's more your speed Niviria, because it's more of a survival game.
Yeah.
Power World.
Yeah, gotta catch most of them.
Yeah.
Copyright infringement. But yeah, no, we played a little bit of Power World, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, you definitely have more hours on Power World than well, not more than Otto, but he's not here to defend himself because he's in the mountains again, something with a rabbit and stuff. I don't know.
Rabbit's probably kicking his ass right now.
Probably, yeah. He's in the Dragoons, so he can't jump in this conversation until at least next month. So, tell us about it. Tell us what's up with Power World.
I really like it. It's a lot of fun. It does feel a bit stagnant once you get to at some points, but there's always something to do. I'm finally at the point where I can have 2 bases. I'm still trying to beat a couple more bosses. And I'm running around trying to find the leaf monk statues and just collect all of those.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Because that helps me level up my catching ability.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it also gives you points to leveling up your pals too, don't they?
No, that's the souls.
Oh,
small
right.
souls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
was gonna say 'cause we played it a little bit together, and
mhm.
it was all four of us, right? Because
Yep. Us and
Otto's
Otto.
in, yeah.
Yeah.
So we played it a little bit together, and ran around and grabbing leaf monk statues for leveling and base building and all
Yeah.
that jazz. It was pretty fun. I had fun with it.
Yeah. I'm liking it. It's a lot of fun, and I think there's more I can explore with it that I haven't yet. And there was more things that were involved in it that I didn't expect, being raided on my base
Mm.
and being able to build up my walls. But then once I built up my walls, my pals would go outside the wall and get stuck, and then they couldn't eat.
They had, some of them. The game is definitely in early access, so there's definitely moments or things that need to be kind of worked out where the pals get a little lost sometimes,
Mhm.
get a little stuck sometimes, and Demo, you ran into an issue right where it was like they weren't doing their jobs or something like that.
Yeah, they would just wander off, do whatever. You would have them. They'd be assigned to something, and they'd say they were helping you, but they'd just be standing there staring at you while you did all the work.
Yeah,
Really felt like government work.
yeah. Hey, you're part of the problem now. But yeah, no, I can get the idea though of the staleness factor.
Mhm.
So I know we want to play it and we're gonna play it together.
Oh yeah.
And put
We'll
it
just
up
have to
on
get some
YouTube.
feedback, some viewers' recommendations or suggestions for restrictions to apply.
Yeah. Because that was the other thing you had an idea for, right?
Yeah.
Niviria was different things. After playing it for a while, you kind of came up with some ideas of how we can make it a little bit better and more challenging.
Yeah. There were a few things we were looking at. I had liked the idea you had said where each time you died, you had to respawn at a completely different area and run around there.
Oh, the different islands.
Yep,
Yeah.
all the different
Kind of like a
islands.
soft
And
restart.
sometimes that really worked out. I would either find different resources or I would find different pals, but you'd have nothing on you. You drop everything when you die. So I'd be like, oh, look, here's like a level 2 pal that I've never seen before. I could grab it, except I have no spheres. And so now I have to gather materials if I can find them and get a workbench going and start
Okay.
from scratch.
So you're saying if we did it that, like, we couldn't, like, once we unlock a fast travel, we wouldn't be able to fast travel back to the original base. You'd have to stay on that island until you died again and just
That's
kind of
something that
cycle.
we could, we
Yeah.
could just.
How many islands are there? Are there
I
enough
want to
to
say
do
there's like
that?
6 or 8 start points.
There's not much, but
Okay.
you can travel to different areas on that island. So there's many different areas on the island you can port to. Especially once you've died, they give you many options.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I don't know how many actual options there are on that.
I want to say, depending on where you die, there can be upwards of 12.
Okay.
Sometimes once you've grabbed a few, they may only give you like 2 or 3 options.
Well, I don't think because the when you die and it gives you respawn points, I don't think those are the ones you unlock, right? Those are the ones that, like, I think they're just hard points that you can unlock. Like,
Yeah,
once
that's what I thought they were. I thought they were
think they
just
are,
start
yeah.
points. And
I
I
don't
thought there was like a half dozen or so of them.
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with how many you unlock.
And they all should have a fast travel near them.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Because
Maybe
it's
that
like
was
that.
it.
Because there's that first fast travel that you unlock in the very beginning of the game. I think
Mhm.
that's one of the starting points.
Okay.
But then when you put down or get the one next to the whatever the hell the tower, the syndicate tower,
Yeah.
you can't, when you die,
it's not a
you
start
can't
point.
start there.
No.
So I
No.
don't know, but that's an interesting idea though. Is that like, shit, I died, now I got to go here.
Yeah.
Might be a little hard with the group though. Like if we're to do like 4 people playing together and one person
Split the
dies,
party.
yeah, that never goes well. So that might be a
Yeah.
little hard for a multi-group party. But you had there was other ideas too. You had
Go like semi-nomadic.
Yeah.
yeah, do like
That was the
a
other idea.
semi-nomadic one. Yeah, where I guess we
Always on
just
the
can't
move.
build bases or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Otto's a pretty good expert on this. He was saying like most of the things that you can do for Power World don't require a base necessarily, but
You just got to build a bunch of stuff with a bunch of resources, get your stuff built, and then destroy it.
yeah, especially he was saying especially in like the earlier
Yeah, it's not to
periods.
like the advanced
Yeah.
things that you have to waste a bunch of resources
Yeah.
building
I think
basic
the
stuff to
only
build the advanced stuff.
I think the only one that I was wondering about was the making ore into bars, because the only one that can do that is a PAL that can use fire. You
Mhm.
can't even make them yourself.
Yeah.
At the refinery or whatever it is. the
Yeah,
furnace.
but you can take them from your inventory, like your pals, the
That's
5 that you
true.
have, and you can assign them. You just have to stay with them.
Yeah.
But he was talking about like when you get up in level, like it unlocks electricity, and
Yeah,
there's
I
certain
haven't gotten
things
there
that you
yet.
have to build in order to unlock electricity for like the higher level stuff. But I mean, like we were talking about though, the game has some elements, so it'd be fun, and it'd be one of those things we can kind of come back to every once in a while. But at the current stage, I don't see us getting a
Not a whole
longevity
lot
out of
of
it.
No.
Yeah, versus
maybe
like
some
Arc or
antics.
7 Days or something like that. Like, we can get a decent amount of content out of those games, but I don't know if we'd be able to get that much out of Power World.
Yeah, it'd be a short term, something to have fun, have some antics with, but it wouldn't really be something I don't see a whole lot of long term longevity out of it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I remember one of the ideas that you had talked about too was like restricting the pals that we could have. Like we
Yes.
could have like 2 or 3 pals, or we were only able to capture like a lamb ball
Yeah, 2 or 3
or
kinds of
one of the
pals.
cativas or whatever the hell they're called, type
The
thing.
essentially the first 3 types that you would see: the cativas, the lamb balls, I forget what the other one is,
The chicken.
like the
The chicken.
the
Yeah.
chicken or
I wanted to
the
say cuckold.
grummels or whatever it is.
That's
The little ones with
that's
the
a
leaves on their
different
head.
game, buddy. That's a different thing you've been playing.
Or the little ones with the leaves on their head.
Oh yeah, the
The
Gamos.
Gamos. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. God, why do I know these things? Um, they're just all the important things in my life get pushed out by video game and TV, movie, fucking random pop
I
trivia.
used to love having useless knowledge in my head, and
Now there's no knowledge in my head.
yeah, exactly.
There's nothing but useless knowledge. I
And I'm
can't.
like, what pill do I need to take this morning?
Oh god, we're so old.
Did I take my vitamins?
Back in the late 1900s, which I guess is what younger kids refer to our era as now. They refer to it as
That the
late
music from the
1900s.
70s, 80s,
Yeah.
and 90s has all been lumped together in late 1900s music.
Oh my god, you can't take 70s, 80s, and 90s and put it together like that. That's wrong. But no, I think we could come up with some pretty decent ideas for a Power World playthrough,
Yeah.
and make it a little bit different than what some people have put it up online. But I mean, even then, if it's like you said, Demo, if it's only for a couple episodes, then 5, 6, 7 episodes or something like that, and then we can come back to it after major updates and things of that nature, because they seem like they're not giving up on it. They seem hell bent on keeping that thing going. So I mean, if they're brave enough to take on Nintendo, yeah, that's something. Cool. Yeah. No. So that's Power. Now there was another idea way back in the way back that you kicked off, Demo, as an idea, and I think we're gonna finally pull the trigger on that one, right?
Yeah, using those indie games out of the Humble Bundle and just seeing what they're about.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what Humble Bundle is, they usually do. They call it the Humble Choice, I think it is, or at least their newest variant of it. And there's usually 8-ish games, and 1 or 2 of those are usually things that you've heard of, and the rest of them are just going to be something at random. The 1 or 2 are usually going to be older mainstream games that don't really need a whole lot of explanation, but figured we might as well give the indies a little bit of light and see if we enjoy them, show a little bit of gameplay so people have an idea if they'd like them, and then for whatever I think it's like $12, $13 for the month, and
That's not bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
12,
it
13 bucks is
might
not
be
bad.
more than that. It might be up to
Oh,
like $20 now, but I thought
that's
it was less than
just too
that.
damn far then. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, that's like a Big Mac meal. Our economy's so broken. But no, that was a cool idea you pitched a while ago for that one. Was kind of nobody's out there kind of just reviewing whether or not the humble bundle choice or whatever it's called for that month is actually worth a damn.
I mean, for all we know, there are people, and they're just as popular as us.
True. And
Aw.
I mean, granted, we didn't go searching for anybody who's doing stuff like this, but the hell with it. We did it first, or maybe I don't know.
I like playing weird games, so I'm up for it.
Oh my god, do you ever? We have a running joke when it comes to Niviria that she has her own genre of movies, and they're all absolute freaking garbage.
They're
movies.
amazing.
Oh yeah, sure.
Really bad.
Amazingly
We
bad.
call them Niviria movies here.
Yeah, we'll call them Niviria's picks.
Yeah.
Or some dumb bullshit like that. She's writing it down now. But we have a running joke where if we see a movie that's that bad, we go, oh, that falls into that category, and we shift it off to the nether. And every once in a while she'll drag one back. What's that garbage movie that
It's not garbage.
you know exactly what movie I'm talking about. You know exactly what movie I'm talking about. What is it?
I'm not going to be able to remember
It's the
the
one
name.
that's Malvolio and me. You made us
Yes.
watch it, and it was terrible. It
It
had
was
the monkey ninjas, and
Maybe along the same vein, we're seeing some critiques going on her movies. Maybe we'll have to find a MST3K style critique for the Humble games as well.
nice.
it's not a terrible movie. It's a great movie, and everybody should watch it. I mean, I think you have to be over 18, but Death Trance.
Yeah, that's it. Death Trance.
Have you seen it?
No.
Oh God. So you'll watch it, and one of the
so now
first
we have to
things
have a
you'll
watch party with
recognize-
Demo.
Oh God. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I have the will.
Yes.
One of
Pre-game.
the
Pre-game,
first
right?
thing, yeah, we'll pregame the hell out of that one. One of the first things you're gonna know is the throbbing, veiny penis sword that the main character uses. And I mean, I might rate it higher on your scale. I don't know, but it was wow.
It is amazing. I loved it. It came out in 2005.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the big throbby veiny cock sword.
When was Hot Topic a thing? No.
But no, it's an older movie, but she's like, it's a good movie, came out in 2005, 20 years ago almost. We don't talk about age here.
How old are your students now?
Oh, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Not as old as that movie.
Yeah. I mean, the last student I talked to, Papa Jules student, this last rotation that I had to cover down for, brought up the fact that
he couldn't drink yet.
Well, that I had when I'd gone through the schoolhouse, in 2003, and his eyes got huge and went, oh man, I wasn't even born yet, and I was just like, dude, shut up. We're old. God, we're old. But anyways, so yeah, doing the humble bundle. We're talking about naming it what was it? In our humble opinion. But we don't really know if we want to record or stream it yet. We kind of floated both ideas. Where we could either record it and just put it up on YouTube or stream it on Twitch, because it's one of the things that we definitely want to do at some point in time is streaming, but or on YouTube. I guess it's not necessarily just Twitch. But yeah, hey, anybody listening to this, if you have any opinions about that, if we could jump in the comment section, let us know. Tell us if you think you prefer to see it just streamed or just recorded or a little both. So, but yeah, I think that'd be kind of fun. Just what are you thinking? Like, give each game like an hour, 2 hours, and kind of condense it down.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna. I mean, that's one of the benefits to recording and posting later. Is if it takes 2, 3, 4 hours to get into the actual meat of a game.
But should we let it go that far? Like, if we start playing a game and it takes 2 hours to get into the crux of the game, that game sucks.
Well, it depends though on the game, right? Because some of those games might just be puzzle games and they don't have much to
And
them.
that's what I'm saying. At that point
Yeah,
in
at that
time,
point,
it's
it
not
won't
gonna
take
it's
long.
not gonna take 2 hours, 4
No.
hours to get into. But I mean, let's think about
One of
like,
them might be an indie RPG.
yeah, but at that point in time, you already know what's going on, right? You already know whether or
Right,
not the
Okay.
game
but
is.
in an hour or two, everything might still be fresh, and by the third or fourth hour, it might be like, all right, I've done the exact same thing for the last 2 hours trying to get leveled up enough.
Yeah.
That grind might be a little bit too extreme that you're not going to find in a 30-minute, 1 hour game session.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that most games, I mean, especially with how low people's attention spans are nowadays, if you have a game where the tutorial is an hour and a half, you're not doing it right. Like you're just not doing it right.
I mean, it could just be something like Star where it takes that long to figure out what the fucking keybind
And
changes from the last patch were.
we'll get the Star Citizen in a second there, good sir. We're still talking about the
All right,
other
45
idea.
minutes, and I finally got to the train station.
And nobody does it like Star, and that's probably for a good reason. But I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where for a small, and like some of the games, like the current Humble Bundle, or whatever the hell it's called, has games like Saints Row in it, like the new Saints Row from what,
and then
2020 or something like that.
And Neo were the mainstream ones.
Yeah. So those games we don't really need to play, but those games are the ones that are going to be like, okay, 2 hours in, and I've just unlocked the two major factions or whatever. But
Yeah.
some of the other games, like the indie games, things of that nature, I just don't see them being that. They're not AAA titles. They're not gonna be like that. But I don't know. You never know.
I could see an hour to an hour and a half. That would get you through the menus into at least the idea of the game. And
Yeah,
I mean, it really depends on the type of game too.
true. Yeah, if it's like we were talking about earlier, if it's a Mad Maestro clone or some type of rhythm style game or puzzle game like you were mentioning, it's not going to take that much to get into it before you realize what it is. But I'm also thinking of games like oh man, what was the Hades? I think was the
Yep.
one I didn't play
top
it.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you play Hades?
no.
Nope.
Okay.
Just watched a bunch of it.
I watched some of it, right? But
was-
that game didn't take long to figure out what was going on. To master the game, yeah, it's gonna take a little while to unlock things and stuff like that. But you get a good feel for what the game is all about within the first hour of the game, I feel. Just watching it and things of that nature. But I don't know. We'll have to kind of see how that one plays out, and I guess take each game as it comes.
I actually, on my Steam, have my games listed out as to the types of games that they are, if I finished the game, and if the game is such crap that I will never play it again.
And that's from you, so you know it's crap.
Yeah.
So
Death trance
Yeah,
the
if
game.
No. If it ends up on my crap list, it is probably, if you can give them a grade, an F-rated game.
it's definitively crap. So yeah. No, we'll have to have you along. We were joking around about it when I told Niviria about the idea for the Humble Bundle and doing the reviews. We brought up the whole Niviria pick style, her garbage, rating system essentially. We're joking around that it's gonna be one of those things where we're gonna be like 30 minutes into a game and be like, this game sucks, we're turning it off. And she's gonna be like, if you touch that,
I love it.
yeah, if you touch that power cord, I'll cut you. So we'll have to have her around too. So if a game is just absolute garbage, we can hand the controller to Niviria and she could take it from there. and stomach the storm for us, I guess. I don't know. Stomach the storm, is that a thing? Did I just make that up? I think that's the thing I just made up.
Storm the stomach?
Storm the stomach, weather the thing, whatever. But yeah, no, I think that'll be fun. That'll be a interesting idea, concept, game, whatever. Demo just pissed off the dog. She does not trust you.
Wow. Hey.
Evie. Hey, calm yourself before I lock you up in the kennel.
It's like she doesn't realize that she curled up next to me.
Yeah, she probably didn't, because I usually sit there.
Who are you again?
And yes, our dog's name is Evie. She is named after a Pokemon. An actual Pokemon, not a pal. Just because she's a long-eared, fluffy fox-looking dog. Especially when we first got her. Calm down, girl. Calm down. Don't make any sudden moves, Timo. She's got bloodlust in her eyes.
She'll run away and pee somewhere if I look at her.
Yeah.
And we just can't do that. We just can't. We running around cleaning up puppy pee everywhere. You're okay, Pops. You're okay.
Should just hide behind mommy.
Yeah, like she is right now. Yeah, I was gonna say that we took her to the dog park, and that's exactly what happened. She just freaking hid whenever dogs came. I could have threw that into the life events. Our life event. Our dog is a coward.
Best guard dog ever.
Best dog.
You will not sleep through somebody coming in your house.
No. Oh, that was the other. I forgot. I actually did have another life event that I actually wanted to bring up. Was the X-wing. Me and No Chill, my son, finally built the Lego X-wing from Force Awakens, the Pose X-wing. I bought that when Force Awakens first came out, and good lord, when did Force Awakens even come out? What was that, 2015? Somewhere around there. So my son, it was like 1, 2. We have a. It had to be. It's somewhere around there, whatever. But I remember
I think so.
we have pictures of him sitting on the couch watching The Force Awakens, super observant and super intent on it. And I remember going out and buying the Lego X-wing with the intent of building it with him, and he just wasn't interested or old enough to really build it, play with it, anything like that. And then finally, he's hitting an age where he's like, I want to build Legos. And I was like, hold up. And I went into the deep catacombs of our closet and had to pull an Indiana Jones and swap out the Lego box with a sack of rice or whatever the hell it was.
Blow the dust off of it.
I quite literally had to blow the dust off of it. I had to pull it out and giggity. I had to pull the box down and literally wipe a thick layer of dust that had accumulated on it. And then brought it out, and now it's at a place of honor on top of the curio cabinet that has all the old systems in it. We have a curio cabinet that has like the Virtual Boy and the NES, and all the way up to the PlayStation 3, PlayStation. Well, we have the PlayStation 4, but that's actually hooked up. But now I'm getting flack from him and his friends for not having a PS5. Or an Xbox Series X, and it's like,
why? PC Master Race,
right? PC Master Race, right? But I'm like, don't you threaten me? I'll go out and get an Xbox right now. Like, you don't know me.
But when you're a kid, you're into consoles for the most part.
They don't understand money either.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But
my friends have one more. You poor.
I shouldn't be. I don't know where my money goes. Amazon. Do for sure. Niviria. You freaking Amazon whore.
Not to be confused with an Amazonian whore.
I'll take one of those. Can we get one of those off of Amazon too? Hold on now. Wait, I might be okay with this purchase.
I am too short for that.
Too short for an Amazonian whore or to be an Amazonian whore?
Definitely to be.
Little column A, little column B.
Let's see what else. What else? Oh yeah, you brought it up. You brought it up already. Our guilty pleasure. Our guilty pleasure.
Our cult of Chris Roberts.
The cult of Chris Roberts. Yes.
How do I get out of the bed again?
Yeah, this is when Niviria straight checks out. He's like,
Yeah.
whatever. I don't give a damn about this game. You will when engineering's a thing.
only wanna
No,
be Kaylee.
me and Demo.
Soon TM.
Soon TM, right? Me and Demo are part of the cult of Chris Roberts, and we have bought into the wonderful game of Star Citizen. For those who are not initiated into the cult, why don't you break it down for him, Demo?
In Chris's words, the best damn game ever, or space game ever, something like that.
In his words, but not his words, I
Right.
guess.
Something
Let me
like
Google it.
that.
Hold on, it's there.
It is not the same thing, but also better, but also worse. It's an ever-changing alpha. It is almost more a travel through time and progress and paying attention to the development of the game than it is actually playing the game, because it is currently alpha, quote, but also a live service, but not a game, but not a beta. But yeah,
It's not early access, but it is early access.
right. But it's just super early access where nothing works yet, but we're getting there soon. TM 10 years later. Making strides, as long as we can be patient. I mean, if you look at games like Starfield that have a little bit less glitz and glamour to them, that still were a concept 10 plus years ago. Development on these types of things takes time, and you just got to be patient. And I keep getting told they promise it'll be a game one of these days.
Patience is the DLC for freaking Star Citizen. It really is. It's one of those things where it takes massive patience and understanding for this game.
What other game is a new game every 3 months?
I mean, realistically, it is. So the other aspect of it, a lot of people might not understand, is that it's a crowdsourced or crowdfunded game rather, to where it's a bunch of rejects like us have put. Some of us have put $45, and there's people out there that have spent $45,000
On one game pack.
on just to pay to play this ever-changing tech demo, which is why it gets kind of its bad rep, and I can understand it. Being referred to as scam citizen and whatnot.
Definitely has room to seem like it's a scam. Especially when you put out a game package for $45,000, and outside the community, it just looks like a huge cost to play. But inside the community, it's seen more as a way to easily donate for people who really believe in the cause.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's more of what it is you can play the game and unlock all the ships in game and stuff like that. So that's a backup, right? That's the thing is when you pledge to help see this game come to fruition and whatnot, is you are pledging a certain amount of money and as a reward receiving a ship, right? That could be a $45, sometimes even less pledge for a little solo starter ship, but for people who have wanted the bigger ships or to fund even more, you can put in hundreds, thousands of dollars in receiving different sized ships or multiple ships and things of that nature. Some are in game, some are in development and haven't even gotten into the game yet. But the thing that most people try to point out to them is that every ship, for the most part, every ship is earnable in game. Whether if you get that grind when it is actually available, at least.
Yeah, I think it'd be better to say every ship class.
Every ship
because
class.
there are specific variants that are one-offs Like AMD and Intel both had a version that
Yeah.
you can't get outside of their
Yeah, they have
special things.
a special ship that you got when you purchased a hard drive from Intel or something like that, and you can't get that one anymore. But you're right. But that's a really rare thing. But that's a game that it has lofty goals, lofty ideas for what it wants to do and what it's trying to do, and they've hit some milestones recently, and by recently I mean what, just 2 days ago?
In the last week.
Yeah, in the last week, where they've been able to hit some certain milestones that people have been waiting years, 10 years now, where they've been waiting for uh these things to occur. This one's a server meshing, where you can jump from one server to another server seamlessly, and that's two different solar systems, and everything's bridged together by an overlaying archetype, or not archetype. I guess an archetype. The server. What the hell is it called?
Architecture.
Yeah, the but
you
what
don't-
what's it actually called? The
Replication layer.
Thank you, replication layer, where everything's kind of held together and works. But they finally proved that it's actually doable. That to an extent.
Well, doable, just not smoothly yet.
Yeah, everything comes with that little TM, little asterisk for at the moment it is working. But I know that's a game that we have definitely kicked around many times to put on Grid Square. I mean, hell, we have our own guild in the game. I
Good
mean,
old Galactic Space Goods.
yeah, Galactic Space Goods, which I think is me, you, and maybe one other person.
Did Misfit join it?
I don't remember. Niviria has an account for Star,
I do.
and I don't even think you're part of our Gorg.
I don't think so. I've only played 2 or 3 times, and all 3 times I've gotten motion sick and been ready to quit like an hour before we were all done.
Yeah, for
I'm like, can we just not look out the window this time?
outside looking in, if you have motion sickness, this is not necessarily an ideal game for you
No, it is
because
not.
it is space. It is 6 degrees of movement or freedom, and everything is pretty quick. Long term, there should be large scale ships, and it's supposed to be more like naval combat where they won't have that rapid movement, and you'll have hallways that you'll be able to walk down. But
Mhm.
for all the small ships, if you get motion sickness, this is not your friend.
The worst was going out in space and trying to get back in the ship. I was like, I'm going to puke within about 3 minutes.
Well, you and Caveman are similar on that one, because last time he played Star with us, he was complaining about getting motion sick from it too,
It was bad.
and he just wasn't able to handle it either.
But
Especially with all the bugs, sometimes it'll bug out and jitter
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and that just
You mean falling
exacerbates
through
the
the
issue.
floor isn't a feature?
Yeah, right. Well, no, it's a feature of the game. Just not necessarily supposed to be there. The bugs are a feature of the game. But you're looking more towards like engineering.
yes, if I could be an engineer, that might solve that issue. I wouldn't have to worry about windows, and I could take care of the ship and
You just
some of
wanna
their
be Kaylee.
components.
You just want to be
That
Kaylee.
too. I'm totally okay with that. Strawberries too, please.
Sitting in the engine room eating strawberries. Yeah, I'm good with it. Yeah, hell, we'll LARP it. I'll get you a whole thing of strawberries to sit there and
Yes.
eat. We'll put it on camera. Put OnlyFans.
Showing their age again, that's a reference back for Firefly for all of the younger kids that haven't seen that series.
True. I mean, how realistic are you even here? And this is definitely a freaking podcast and a channel for older people.
Do you?
But if you're here, other generational people, welcome. Dabs and floss and no cap, bussin'. I don't know, some other things. Please stop! Oh, sweet Jesus, please stop! I'll get Tyler on here and we can
Pebbles.
Yeah, pebbles, bro, pebbles. And just have a good old time making people cringe. But no, we're looking at they have a new patch coming out, 3.23 for Star Citizen, where it's going to have a lot of quality of life stuff. So might be time to jump in and start getting some recording and see what we can do. Because additionally, they're gonna put
Should be
engineering, the
another
first steps of engineering in for Arena Commander at least, which is kind of like their standalone outside of so again, Star Citizen is a MMO, right? So
Hmm.
it's a multi player experience, but they have something called Arena Commander, which is a smaller groups and it's more based off of client side rather than off servers and stuff of that nature. But they're going to be putting the first steps of engineering in as well. So we might be able to do that because now you can also do the 323 also brings in private party Arena Commander.
And then also shortly after 323 is scheduled at least for release. Early in May, they should be doing a free fly for a couple of weeks.
True, true. Yeah, so we can get people for the Invictus event, right? And get people in and test it, right? And why not test it for free if you're gonna try? But we'll put some content up, and even if it's short form content where we just kind of mess around during the events or something like that, get some videos out there. Maybe even stream a little bit. Who knows?
Question is when are they going to get the Helldivers dive in?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Well, that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting, right? Sit there and do a combination of Star Citizen and Helldivers where up in space we're flying around in the big old hammerhead ship and whatnot and armor, and then we got to go down the planet side and switch over and just edit it, switch over to Helldivers. Fighting for these bugs want to stop Chris Roberts' game and we can't let them.
One of the favorite things, I don't know, Helldivers, you said you haven't gotten into it, but you went through and did the custom or character customizer, right?
Mhm.
Did you cycle through the voices at all?
I did. There was only 4.
Right. There's one of the options that's in there. It's a new voice every time you have to come back down.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh,
instead of keeping the same voice. So
that's
it's like,
smart. That's funny though, because it simulates that it's a completely different person.
yep, that person died. Reinforcement. Somebody else is on the way down.
That'd be funny. That would be a good one. I did look up the voice actors for it because the initial narrator, I was like, oh my god, is this Matt Mercer? Like that guy is in freaking everything. It wasn't.
No, it
It
wasn't.
wasn't. But Niviria and I are huge Critical Role fans.
Yes.
To the point where Niviria has an entire leg freaking sleeve dedicated to Critical Role.
Almost done.
Almost. You've seen a couple episodes of Critical Role too, right?
A couple of them.
A couple of them, right? But I was like, man, is this Matt Mercer? That dude's in freaking everything. I love it. But it's not. However, Helldiver 4 is I'm gonna butcher his name. Is Robbie Damon or something like that? Hit it, Google.
Yeah.
But he was in Critical Role in Campaign 3. He played a character. Great D&D personality, great personality. At least I mean, I know him personally. Me and him go way back. No, I've literally only seen him on Critical Role. He has no idea we exist, type thing, clearly. But he's Helldiver 4. So I was like, man, I gotta go in and change my voice to him just to freaking, have that solidarity with the nerds. But I thought that was interesting. I mean, you could say it out loud. I don't know what the hell. It is Damon. I said Diamond, didn't I? Robbie Damon. So yeah, he's a Helldiver 4. So I'll have to
Wasn't
sit
sure
there and
if that
play
was
with
right.
that. That'd be fun. But yeah, eventually we'll get there with all these plans, lofty goals, and editing Tiny Tinas and getting those out there.
I'm
And
gonna say if only we didn't have kids and full-time jobs, we'd totally get to
Yeah.
all this.
God, it's so hard to come back from work and get back to editing and stuff like that. But additionally, I want to make sure to spend time with the kiddos before they don't want to spend time with me. But no, we have ideas. We're gonna get some Power World in. We'll get some Helldivers in. Star Citizen, freaking humble opinion. D&D at some point in time. Definitely want to get some D&D in there.
Board games would be good
Yeah,
as
board
well.
games.
That'd be nice. And we have 3 closets full
So many board
at
games.
least.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and that's just us. Freaking Demo's house has freaking board games galore too.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely have to get that. Maybe that's what we'll have to drag the wife and the missus in. We'll have to do a board
No
game
motion
night.
sickness on that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no motion sickness. Bring her in on that one. We'll just offer her plenty of wine, and we'll be fun. We'll pregame some board games and get that done. But yeah, we'll do some streams, do some interviews, talk to people on stream, live style.
Yeah.
I know we have plenty of things. Like we had the idea of doing a Q&A while doing the Hot Ones challenge because we have that entire box of stupid freaking hot sauce. And have people log in and ask us questions, and while we're eating hot wings or
All snotty.
one of the ideas a long time ago we had was with Captain Thor before they moved, because Captain Thor, who we mentioned in the intro, right? I think we actually called him by his name in the intro though. Was
No, you
Nate?
called him Thor.
Yeah, did I call him Thor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was the one who actually came up with the name Grid Square Gaming. So if you go back and watch the intro, whoever it was I said came up with the idea of Grid Square, that's who we're referring to. But his ass moved too, bastard. Him and his wife moved to freaking Missouri for good reasons. That's where his family's from. But we wanted to do retro nights where we streamed and recorded retro games, old school, like getting into NES and Super NES and things of that nature.
I talked about calling that Rewind.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, we're talking about what was it, Grid Square Rewind or something like that?
Yeah.
Retro Rewind or something like that. But I mean, we could do that with just our backlog, honestly, because my backlog goes into the early 2000s and for that's 20 years ago. So that's rewind enough. But well,
Not to mention anything off of good old games. Almost everything from there is at least 20 years old.
yeah, but we'll get some stuff in there. But hell, if you've made it this far through the podcast with us, you have ideas, hit us up. This channel's new. We're open to ideas. We're malleable. Semper
We're
Gumby.
young and impressionable.
We're young and impressionable.
Give us challenges.
Give us challenges. Give us ideas, right? If you want to see us eat hot wings while playing retro games on Twitch or YouTube, tell us. We're there. As long as you get there too, right? Log in, talk to us. We'll get some ideas out there. Stick with us. Us. We have some ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anything else you guys want to talk about before?
Nah, I think I'm pretty good.
I think I'm good too.
I'm gonna go pet the dog.
Yeah. Great. Well, I mean,
She's
hell,
sleeping.
there she is. Yeah, all you had to do was look at her, you bastard.
Is your dog friendly?
Hell, we didn't know how to start this, so I don't really know how to end it.
I mean, there's a stop button.
I mean, you're not wrong. All right, bye.
Bye.